I thought I was going to feel this, aha, like, oh my gosh, I'm in Africa.
Mhm.
But
Married to a Nigerian man for 12 years, Tyra took her first trip to Nigeria with her daughter in 2025. In this video, we talk about everything from visa and airport drama to emotional family moments, Nigerian food, the cost of living, and what it's actually like living in Nigeria for the first time. And if you're ready to travel and start living your best life, download my updated free Escape the States guide. This guide will help you to take your first steps towards the journey to a better life. Now, let's meet Tyra and take a trip to Nigeria. Tyra, I'm so happy to have you here.
happy to be here. Hello, sis.
Long time no see for sure. Please let the people know, give them a brief introduction of who you are and what you want them to know.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Tyra Awalesi Boyd. I'm a mother of two and a wife. I married to a Nigerian, and woo, God bless our reunion. I also work as a school teacher in Virginia. Right now, I spend my days working and taking care of family. I did have the opportunity to finally, we've been married for what, 12 years? And this is my first time traveling to Nigeria. It's been a long time coming. I wish we had went when my daughter was younger, so that way she would have been able to meet at least her grandfather. He had just recently passed, so we were unable to meet him, my husband's father, but we were able to meet his mother, which is wonderful. So we did get to meet an extension of his family and his siblings, so that was nice.
Okay, wonderful. So let's get into the preparation that you had to go through before traveling to Nigeria.
Well, my best time to only travel is during the summer. That's when we are on our summer vacation with work and also school for my daughter. So the adventure starting getting the visa, we had no clue what we were doing. Went to the embassy, waited in the long, long lines, and then finally we were supposed to do it online. Drove 3 hours
What?
all the way to the embassy to find out that you're supposed to do your application online. Of course, that turned us around, and we didn't think any more of it after that because I'm computer illiterate. So I was like, how do I figure this out? How do I figure this out? So we never really put any more effort into it until recently. Finally, again, went back to the embassy. We filled out the application online, turned in our passports and all that. Went to the embassy. Nigerians don't want you in their country because they make things difficult. Trying to get the visa,
Yeah, what happened?
you needed a. We had the invitation.
Mm-hmm.
My husband's passport was expired from Nigeria, so I could not use him for us to be able to travel there because you have to have someone with a valid passport to verify you.
Right.
I couldn't use him. So we sat in the car and I'm like, oh my goodness, honey, these are people. Go ask somebody, if they would sponsor us. And as we were sitting in the car about to embark on going back home, going through that long process, I was almost into tears. I was like, oh my God, maybe this is not meant for us to go. Then all of a sudden, this woman pulls up on the side of us and she knew somebody, they knew somebody. And then all of a sudden, somebody came, he hooked us up, got in there, took our paperwork, took all the stuff that we needed. She did the invitation and
Girl.
boom, put our
Mm-hmm.
stuff in 3 weeks, we got our visas.
So if you plan to visit Nigeria, you must have a visa to enter the country. You can apply online for an e-visa or go through a Nigerian embassy. Most travelers apply for a tourist visa, which typically requires a valid passport with at least 6 months before expiration, a completed visa application, a passport sized photo, proof of accommodation, hotel, or invitation letter from a host, return ticket or travel itinerary, and a bank statement to show that you can support
I
yourself.
probably wouldn't advise this from anyone, to your own discretion. We kind of took chance because the vaccines are so expensive. We didn't do the vaccines. The only thing I did do is get the malaria
Malaria.
medicine, and that was it. All the other stuff, the typhoid and all those other things
Yeah.
that they're asking us to get, girl, it was like to get our vaccines for both of us, that would have been another $700 and something out of pocket.
And those are not
Just for the
necessary.
just for the vaccine alone for my daughter and I. We went and got the malaria medicine, and we just took that. After all that, we got our visas, waited for summer vacation, and because this is our first time, didn't want to do any layovers. And my daughter and I were traveling by ourselves. We weren't traveling with my husband because he's already there. So we just flew straight from out of DC, and it was interesting.
How was the flight from? Okay, so what was the
We
flight?
went from DC to Georgia.
How was that flight?
Look, I didn't have my glasses, and I'm completely like blind, cannot read anything without these glasses. So it was all on my daughter. We get to Atlanta, and you know how Atlanta is. The airport alone is like a whole state in itself. It's so huge. We get into Georgia. I ended up in United. We're flying Delta. Didn't even pay any attention because we got there real early. So we were sitting at the wrong terminal. Honey, I'm so glad we got there early because I'm about ready to go take a little nappy nap. And all of a sudden, I'm looking up on the screen. I was like, first of all, we're getting ready to fly. How come it's so empty?
Oh.
And our flight leaves within an hour. So we were still good on timing. But had I not noticed that,
oh my goodness,
we would have missed because it was all the way on the other side of the terminal. You know how that is. That's a day trip to walk that. And then, of course, their little excavator thingies weren't working. But we made it to the other side. The flight was great. No problem.
Did they have like nice food and movies you can watch?
The food was fairly decent. Yes, we had movies. They gave us blankets and a pillow. It was comfortable as far as their treatment. They were very polite. But the leg room, flying is not for the fluffy. Because, they make us struggle. They make us struggle.
And tall.
And not only fluffy, but then to be tall on top of that, no leg room. So I'm so glad though I had an aisle seat and I wore my compression sock. That helped me so much. The whole trip was 18
hours.
About 18 hours. Between 18 and 21. I don't know which one it was. I know it's about that length of time.
So after the long flight, you land.
Yes.
Tell me about your experience from landing to actually getting out of the airport. I think Solomon, your husband, was there. Tell me about.
Wait, girl, let me tell you. Okay. So first of all, I was already based off of other people's assumptions of what's going to happen when you get off, because they're saying you don't get off inside of the terminal. You kind of get off on I think they call it tarmac. So we did walk into the terminal. Now, Nigeria, on the terminal entering, is the old one.
The old airport.
Yes. Okay. And the one leaving Nigeria is newer, up to date.
Okay.
Going in, there's no air condition, so it was quite warm in there. The escalator did not work, so you had to walk pretty good distance. But entering into they were quite friendly. One lady took us to immigration. They checked our passport, our visa. They saw Jolade's name, of course, because her name is a Nigerian name, and they're like, are you bringing our daughter home? That's what they said. I was like, yes, like, oh, wonderful, wonderful. So they were very pleasant, had no trouble, right? Mm-hmm. But then after we got past the immigration and we're getting ready to collect our luggage,
talk about it.
Boom, boom. This is when the drama starts to take place. So we had one guy come up to us to help us with our luggage, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having that one person. But then we didn't see our luggage. And it was not like how you're used to seeing the going around the conveyor belt and you going and you're just picking up your like all the luggage is laid out on the floor and you got to try to find your stuff.
Really?
Yeah. So this one attendant was trying to help us. Then all of a sudden, he and another guy were arguing back and forth because this guy wants, I guess, like this is my job, da 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 da. And I'm like, oh my goodness. There's another person. So the other guy left. So of course I dashed him some money. Now the first one that helped us didn't even ask for anything. So I gave him a tip, for at least getting us there. He did pick up a few of our bags, but then there was a couple of bags that we were still looking for. After all that argument between him and the other guy that did not even have a uniform on, but I'm in someone else's country. I don't know what's going on. So he finds our other bags while we're trying to figure out, okay, July, does it look like, is that the
chaos?
It's like an Easter egg hunt for your luggage.
What?
Trying to find your bags. So Solomon cannot come in. My husband cannot come in because they're not allowed inside the terminal unless you flying out. So we would have to meet him outside. I didn't have a phone, so there was no way for me to contact him. We get through the doors. They want to search your bags and stuff like that, but the guy was like, oh, they're good, they're good. So actually, they didn't even search our bags. Okay, so good. When he went through the doors, he's like, madam, dash me. You're going to settle us. And all I had was large bills. All I had was 20s on me. This is another thing. When you're traveling to another country and you don't have the currency yet, go with dollars. Make sure you have ones, small currency. Don't go with $10. Go with dollars or $5 bills. So anyhow, all I had was 20. So I already gave the first guy 20, right? So the second guy that was helping us, I gave him a 20. Then he's like, but then, what about the security? And by the time I got out of the airport, I've already gave out $60.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Everyone, comment below. Has this ever happened to you traveling to Nigeria? Comment below. Let us know your experience and let's continue.
I was so nervous because I couldn't contact Solomon, so I didn't know how I was going to contact him. And then I said, well, can I use your phone? And he allowed us to use his phone. And I called Solomon on the WhatsApp. And so he said, I'm outside. At first I was saying, hey, why don't you take me outside? He wouldn't take me outside. He's like, I can't go out any further. So he was kind of lying. And I said, I said, let my husband settle you. Let my husband settle. Mm-hmm. But he didn't know.
Because he knew. So his husband would have been like, get out her face.
Mm-hmm. And like he already warned me and said, do not give them anything. But I just didn't want any troubles. And I'm a chicken. Look, they saw an easy target.
Fresh meat.
Yes, fresh meat off the market, right? Freshly off the market. Let's get her. So, okay. And I was afraid that they're going to keep my luggage. So that's why I kept saying, okay, when he says, what about this person? What about that? So it's like, oh my gosh.
Were they doing that to other people? Did you see that they were doing the same thing to other people, or was
I was so focused I was just focusing on that situation. Now I know that they're not supposed to be doing that. My husband said like $20 is like their monthly income. $20 is about 30,000 naira, their money. So he said that they can not come to work for a whole month because they done already made more than their salary. So, I don't have a problem tipping you, but all that begging, it just drove me insane. And by the time we got out, we had another luggage person. He took our luggage to the car, but he didn't ask for anything. But I was like, at this point, I already gave up. I dashed him money. And he was appreciative when he got all the way back to the door and he looked in his hand because, I kind of snuck it because I didn't want my husband to see that I gave him something. And so when he got to the door, he was like, thank you, madam. And I was like, okay. Well, at least he was grateful. He deserved it. And my husband was like, yeah, you just gave him his monthly salary and some. During the time we went, which is in June and July, those are the raining season months. So it was some hot days. We still had a nice cool breeze. It was perfect. So driving off from the airport was interesting because now you're getting into the hustle and bustle. Ikeja is where the airport is located. We're in Lagos. You see military guys out there by the gates with their guns and stuff. Like, what in the world? So that was a little scary. And then pulling people aside, pulling you over, trying to extort you.
So what did you see? Like, what do you remember as far as like, the ride there?
Tons of people. Hello, we finally arrived. Made it to Nigeria. A lot of people selling things on the roadside. It was beautiful. We normally see these women with their baskets on their heads, their babies on their backs, and just to actually see that in real life and not from a movie or television was like, wow. These women are strong. I'm going to tell you, Nigerian women, they are some strong women. I physically, mentally, are some strong people.
Well, you should know they're very extremely smart.
I'm so thankful because my husband is very smart,
Mm-hmm.
and my daughter, woohoo, making them honor rolls.
That's
So
right.
it's in the blood. It's in the blood. So I think it took us about maybe an hour to get to where we're going, which is Ikorodu. Ikorodu is still part of Lagos. That is the hustle and bustle of everything. You've seen the markets. You've seen tons of people selling stuff even on the road. Like you're caught up in traffic and folks are walking in between the cars selling you all kinds of snacks and juice and chips or whatever it is that you want to buy. But then you look on the side of the road and you see tons of just markets, like people just selling anything and everything. It was just so busy. You seen their form of transportation, people hanging out of buses, and girl, it was like, wow.
They
KKs.
call it KK.
That's what it is. They're like taxis, but they look like almost like golf carts a little bit.
Okay. And they're taxis?
Pretty much, yes. So you see a lot of those on the road. Very scary because they be riding maybe 3, 4 people deep in the back. And with me and Solomon and Jolati, we barely fit inside comfortably because Jolati was all
Wow.
squeezed in between us too.
So, all right. So you arrived to the house, and what
Mhm.
did you do the first day? What was your experience looking at your home in Nigeria?
I thought I was going to feel this, aha, like, oh my gosh, I'm in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
But truly, I kind of didn't feel that. I kind of felt like I was already home, so it was like no big old deal to me. Do you understand? Yeah,
Hmm.
kind of.
Okay.
So that was a weird feeling because how I dreamt it or imagined it, it was always this big excitement, like, oh my God, I'm finally here on the soil of the motherland, the continent of Africa. But I didn't. I kind of felt like, okay, just like I done went to another state here in the United States, just comfortable. I just felt already at home. So by the time we got to our house, my husband had set up a house for us. He's been prepared, making sure things are comfortable for us, because you know how us Americans can be so judgmental on, because, we're used to certain things. The first thing I told him, I said, honey, I'm all for learning new experiences and doing certain things like the African women, but one thing I can tell you I'm not going to be able to do, I can't be bending over washing clothes. I said, I can't do that, honey. He went and bought us a washing machine. Like, I'm just so thankful. He made everything really comfortable. Our rooms were nice and comfortable. I had air conditioning in the room. So we have solar on our house. So he made sure that we weren't going to be like suffering with the light issue. Now that's going to be a topic down the road on our conversation about electricity. It's almost like I didn't really leave home. The only thing was that on the roads, this, that was my ride, girl. Bumpity, 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 bumpity.
Wow.
The
Wow.
road from once you get off the main street to
Mm-hmm.
come into the community, the roads it has been raining because we're in raining season, so we're on dirt roads.
Oh.
It's muddy. You got that red clay, which is beautiful to look
Mm-hmm.
at, but we kind of got stuck a little bit. Then I was like, Lord, please do not let us get stuck. And then what if I slip? It's gonna be so embarrassing to slip on that. I was like, Lord, please don't let this truck get stuck. So we made it home safely, made it in front of our gate. So we have our home is enclosed by walls and the gate. So it's called a compound. We have banana tree, we have a mango tree and a guava tree. But because it was not in the season, so by the
Mm-hmm.
time we were leaving, they were starting to come out. The neighbor had orange trees. They're oranges. They're not like ours, where it's nice and orangey. They're like green in color, kind of. Almost look like a huge lime, and the skin is very tough. Very tough. My goodness, it was the most juiciest thing. And it was so sweet, so delicious. I
Nice.
kept on saying, honey, go ask the neighbor, can we get some more oranges?
So let's get into the food because it's all about the
The
food.
food.
Because you've been in the States, you're from
Yeah.
the States, and just get into like how you explored the local dishes and whatever you ate, like let us know.
The Nigerian food that I eat here in the States is completely different from the food I eat in Nigeria, and only due to the ingredients. For example, there's this one dish called eforiro, which is a spinach stew, and it's so delicious because it has, different assorted meats. You got spinach and peppers. The sauce is made with a pepper tomato sauce. It's so good. You eat it with rice or eat it with swallow. Now, fufu is a swallow. Fufu is not like a main dish. Everybody was like, "Oh, I want some fufu. I want some fufu." Well, you don't want fufu by itself. It's a swallow that goes with a main dish.
How does fufu taste? Like, what's the.
Now there it was good because their stuff is fresh. We use a lot of powder. We got the powdered stuff, which
Mhm.
has half potato flour in it, and so we're not getting that original fufu like the fufu they eat there, which I enjoyed. There's another swallow called amala, which is supposed to be a little bit more healthier because one is brown and healthier for those who are diabetics. So before I left on my trip, I was diagnosed pre-diabetic. I was like not pre-diabetic, but actually having diabetes there. Now I've already went across. She said my numbers were a little too high. And so they didn't put me on any meds. She just like, I know you're going to take this trip. Be mindful of the things that you eat. And of course, our main staple is what? Rice and fufu. As far as carbs go, it was tough for me. But my numbers were pretty good. I made sure I had to check that every day before meals. The food is so good. Egusi, which is made with a melon seed. Delicious. Begari, which is a meal where you have ewedu, which is like it's another leaf that's kind of grinded into like a slimy consistency. It's like a draw sauce, and it comes with the red stew, and then it comes with beans, which is grinded into a sauce. So you put all that three. It's a very beautiful, colorful plate. Although I didn't get mine plated like that, it's still a beautiful dish to look at. The chicken, okay, let me tell you, my daughter nearly chickened me to death. Girl, I was so tired of chicken, I didn't know what to do with myself. But
Wow.
all she wanted to eat was Kentucky Fried Chicken, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Oh.
But she also eat the swallows and the different sauces too. Compare KFC to the KFC here.
Mm.
The flavors are different, totally different. It's not seasoned to the point where you like, oh, I gotta keep having some more, eat some more, eat some more. You know,
Mm.
it almost tastes like it just had one or two notes: salt and pepper, salt, or some type of onion powder. So it didn't taste as heavy as our chicken tastes. So like we'll have coleslaw, mashed potatoes, right, on our menu. On theirs, it was like jollof rice, moi moi. Moi moi is like a
Okay.
savory bean cake, which is really good. And their French fries, although they did have fries, but they also had yam fries. Which every time I went to try to get the yam fries, they were always out, so I didn't get to taste the yam fries. They had Cold Stone. Cold Stones was nice.
Was the ice cream
Um,
like less sweet or just kind of the same?
it was a little less. It wasn't as sweet. It was good. They didn't have fresh fruit like Cold Stone. When they blended in with
Hmm.
the ice cream, they did have like the candy toppings. That was good. And of course, the food there is a lot expensive.
So the international food was a lot more expensive than the local.
Hmm. To us, it might seem like it's cheap because you're comparing the dollar to their naira. But if you're just living there and you're using the custom of their naira, it's not cheap. To eat
That's
out, period, in restaurants is very expensive. Even their local dishes
even
is
their
expensive.
locals? Really?
If you're going to a local restaurant, it's not cheap to eat in a restaurant. Yeah.
Tell us about when you went to the beach with your family and that experience. That Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll talk about Family Day beach adventures, her unforgettable visit to Aluma Rock, and getting her hair done with her daughter in Nigeria. Believe me, you don't want to miss this. Also, if you've reached the end of this video, write in the comment section below, real one, because you are a true Finding My Tribe member and will get a special shout out in the next video. Download your Escape the States guide, comment down below, and let us know. Do you plan on visiting Nigeria? Have you visited Nigeria already and experienced what Tyra's experienced? Let us know in the comments section. Thanks again for watching, and always remember to go where you glow.